You know, it's the middle of winter and you're driving and you just get that sense we're on ice and it's not going to go well.
I had depression.
I'd been on a good career path, and I had a lovely family.
Things started to get peculiar.
I became overcome with fear.
Feelings of being watched.
By the end of that year, I was in the emergency department because I injured myself and lost about a pint of blood.
The paranoia or whatever increased.
I was diagnosed with psychosis.
There was a lot going on in my head that wasn't accurate. I'm in the boat, we're going in this direction, no control. Began cutting myself just to feel something, to have some control over something. The boat was still rocking violently.
That was when I really started to get help.
I could no longer ignore it.
When that happens, you start questioning, am I stupid, or, all those sorts of things.
In 2005, January, sort of came out of it. It's still a struggle, it's still a battle. It's all in how you cope and manage. I'm here to make it work.
It was a wake-up call for me that I needed to take care of myself physically. I was 260-some pounds back then.
It's a very confusing process when mental illness enters into your life because you don't know what's happening to yourself.
Did you find people fade away? People that you thought you could count on?
I found the best friends came forward.
As I got ill, my relations got strained, so it's not a good feeling, especially when your illness is starting to really take hold.
And do those friendships come back? They don't always, do they? You lose a lot, and some do. Yeah.
As much as it might seem like friends went away at times, you got to be okay to stand strong in your autonomy as an individual. And those people have their lives and their dealings with their experiences too. And I was never judgmental about that because I found the few people that did stay around me were the ones that were the most valuable to my experience.
There was a couple friends that I told, and they were supportive at first, but as I got ill, they just couldn't be around.
Some people don't want to hear it because they don't know how to react to it.
Yeah, it was getting difficult for them.
It can be a very difficult thing to go through alone. It takes a long time and a lot of support and a lot of understanding.
There's these studies about exercise.
Kayaking is a big thing for me because I can still have the thoughts, but they can't overwhelm me because I have to keep paddling or keep pedaling or keep walking.
I'll write I'll think of one theme and I'll write every day. I'll write a poem every day.
We have a dog, which my wife refers to as our therapy dog. And it's just a dog we got from the pound, and he's not particularly well behaved, but he's always glad to see us and always glad to go for a walk or anywhere. And I think there's some real value in having pets.
Sometime during my second hospitalization, I took a day pass and went down to Langhouse and became a member. And I really liked being there. If for nothing else, just to hang out somewhere that's not in the hospital. I became a regular at Langhouse, and I found that they were very instrumental in my recovery. I can't thank them enough.
The system is not perfect. It's broken. We know that. Everybody goes, well, yeah, what are you going to do? It's politicians or, That's no longer acceptable as an excuse and as a pass. The suffering that it's causing is unreasonable and unnecessary. Then we have to try harder, because the patients that we're treating are trying harder.
Some of the stats are showing that 1 in every 3 people in Canada will experience a mental illness at some point in their life. So it can happen to anybody, even though you may push it aside, you're not immune to it, and it could happen to you tomorrow. Nova Scotia never had a mental health strategy up until last year. Canada didn't until the last 2 or 3 years. So government is finally starting to recognize that they just can't ignore it. They have to do something actively to help people that are experiencing these difficulties.
It's just another illness that has to be accepted in our medical system, and it's...
I think we have a long way to go.
We must overcome discrimination and fight against stigma and educate the youth for a brighter future.
I don't get stigma. I don't understand it across the board.
I think one of the big parts of stigma is self-stigmatization, and that really holds a lot of people back because they feel embarrassed by their illness.
I wish that there was more knowledge and education of a strategy to deal with it. But the biggest thing, I think, is having family support. And I was lucky to have a family who understood.
I didn't want to be the poster boy for mental illness. It's a part of me. It's something that I couldn't dislike more, but it's a part of me. So I'm proud in how I've been able to turn it into something positive.
You have to put an illness in its place.
And it is just another illness. Like you have diabetes, you have cancer, you have hundreds of illnesses out there, that it's just another illness that has to be accepted in our medical system, and it's not questioned.